How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining me here on Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. This is our daily, Monday through Friday, UAP news, whatever the latest and greatest is in the world of the UAP phenomenon, the things that are going around. We try to talk about it here. So if you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, subscribe to it so you can get your Monday through Friday updates. We also do a show on Tuesdays. It's called UAP Tuesdays, which you can find that playlist. I want to thank my buddy Pavel for taking over yesterday on the channel. I had a lot going down, but he took over and he has a really great interview on his channel. Also, we'll talk about that because he's here today. So we'll talk to him about that and a great many things. But the thing that we need to talk about today is that if you pay attention to Matt Laslo has his nose to the ground when it comes to the UAP phenomenon, and he is also in Washington asking all of the who's who of what is happening on his site on Ask a Poll. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he's very informed about all this. And he posted something today on his site about, and he titled it essentially, not too dissimilar from how we titled this, is it starting to heat up more? Are the conversations in Washington starting to heat up more? We've been covering and we've been talking about how there's been requests to get these committees, to get the caucus rolling, and get to get the speaker to okay this committee to further investigations. Then there's also these field hearings that's supposed to happen. There's also the public hearings that's supposed to be happening. Now, this report seems to confirm that all that is still in the works. Now, if you're following it like we have been, it does seem like there's been kind of a slowdown. There's always people, there's going to be the same people that are talking about it, like this channel and other places that are going to always be talking about it. But it seemed like maybe like the fever pitch was kind of starting to die down a little bit. And I think that even though a lot of people are saying that the AARo report is kind of BS, I do think it kind of knocked the wind out of some sails. Some people would argue against that, but it does seem like the naysayers and the skeptics, if you will, have had louder voices because of like, see, told you, nothing to see here. And as I've said on this show many times, and I've said on this channel, and other people have said, it's hard to keep saying, well, wait a minute, it's very soon it's going to happen, when every day you're waiting and every day it's just more. Look, I get it. It's like patience. And if you look at those Soul reports, they say, oh, it's going to be a couple of years. It's going to be this. And it's like, I think that we're in a place in society where it's just like, you know how it is. It's like, where is it? Give it to me now. Tell me. And I think with this topic, it's kind of important also. But I'm going to read a little bit with this report by Ask a Poll, and I'm going to play a little of the audio so you guys can hear both, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Here's this article. So they're asking Luna, who is the co-chair of the Congressional UAP Caucus, some questions here, but this is the actual audio. Let me play this.
Did you see that Joint Chiefs of Staff memo on UAPs?
I have not yet.
It's interesting that it goes to that level.
I mean, I've told you guys, I think that there is absolutely, without a doubt, something there. And I think the level of pushback that we get is pretty obvious. And so I look forward to being able to hopefully get something seriously considered for the next Congress in regards to an actual committee, because I think it should be investigated. Yeah. And you guys can see there's a ton of bipartisan support.
Yeah.
But, I'm at the point where I've also we have a lot of information coming to our offices. So being able to sift through what's accurate, what's disinformation, I think that that's incredibly important. So we're making sure that we're not putting out wrong information or false information to discredit the movement.
How would you describe the relationship between Pentagon and the contracting industry? Are they have we seen the wedding like Eisenhower foreshadowed of the military industrial complex?
I think it's very evident that there's not enough oversight, and that we have to make sure that we're staying cognizant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm making sure.
Yeah. Do you have a day job? What kind of last question?
Yeah.
Are you worried? Could it be that the SAPs that Russ brought up are hidden in the contract?
Well, and that's exactly why we need more oversight. Sorry.
Fund right now!
Yeah. Because you guys don't feel like you have it.
Yeah, well, you guys know that they've denied us access. Yeah. So, we again need more people involved, but there's a ton going up here, so we have to just make sure that we stay focused on it and that we continue our support for it.
Have you ever talked to Rubio about it?
I have
Because he
not
has
been
more
able.
access?
I have not been able to talk to anyone in the Senate. I think I've told you guys that, but we've not really been able to.
Have you
make
requested
comms.
it?
We've reached out to see what we can find from different staffers and whatnot, but yeah, we'd be happy to sit down and have a meeting with all of them.
As always, I'll be watching. Have a good recess, ma'am.
Okay, so it looks like she is absolutely still in it. I had this conversation. She's saying a lot of the stuff that she said before in other reports, though, to be completely honest. And that fact, yeah, I know that something's going on, so I'm investigating it. But it does seem like it's still active. And it also seems like there's a lot of chaos on the street, too. Who knows what was getting protested? I don't know. Somebody didn't have enough cheese on their burger. The hell do I know about it? Either way, a lot of chaos going on, and there's a lot of conversations going on. And Luna was pretty much saying that there needs to be more. There needs to be more investigation. I feel like when you hear her talk as much as she can, that she knows a little bit more than she's able to talk about. Now, there's a second part of that audio, and here it is.
You got any updates?
Not yet.
Nothing. What are you looking for next?
I didn't ask you about
The AARo report. What did you make of that?
As of right now, our next steps are, I think, the field hearing. So we're waiting for kind of consultation.
What did you make of that declassified AARo report? Yeah.
So we asked her about the AARo report, and like everybody else, she's skeptical, and she's got to be, right. She's got to be still say, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's right to me, but she doesn't flat out say they're lying, which other people have definitely said, but she doesn't say that. She's still got to play nice, I think, in certain aspects. I think Burchett's pretty much called them out. I could be wrong, but it's the same thing. Talking about that committee wants to have those hearings, the field hearings, and all that. That's really what's pushing. So it seems like it doesn't seem like she's given up. With Rubio, you haven't heard Rubio talk about it at all recently at all. Just kind of fell off the map with it, but it does seem like Luna's still in the fight. So anyway, that's a lot of information. And I want to bring in Pavel. What's up, Pavel?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. So we have this report by Matt Laslo, and you and I have been talking about it, that you go through these waves when you're covering this stuff, because it's like there are like these hopeful moments that maybe people are actually fighting to try to find out what the information is. And then there's people that don't understand that, at least for you and I and other people, we just want to know kind of information about what it actually is, even if it turns out to be, I don't know, another government, whatever it is. We just want to know some kind of information. But people automatically, they spin it on you and they tell you, oh, there's no aliens, guys. It's like, it's not what we're talking about here. Very well could be, but it's not what we're talking about. We're talking about information, and it looks like Luna and Burchett and all these other people, and Moskowitz and Schumer, they're all looking to try to keep pushing forward. What do you gather from this report from Matt Laslo?
I think that over the last 80 years, the ones that are keeping this secret, whatever it is, they have done a great job at whoever gets on their trail, they make sure that they get lost with misinformation or something else. So the people that are right now trying to get to the truth, whether it's politicians or people from academia or journalists, they're being extra careful knowing what happened throughout all those 80 years. So I think it's great for Representative Luna to talk about this, how important it is to try to get the most accurate and objective information on what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that I'm in this place right now, man, the same way that you are, where it's like, yes, I'm glad that everybody's still fighting the fight, but it is like, it does seem like the same report almost every day. Well,
Yeah.
These are going to happen soon. These public hearings are going to happen soon. The field hearings are going to happen soon. The Speaker of the House, he's going to approve this. He's going to approve this committee. Grush is going to go work over there. This is going to happen, and this all very well might happen next week, a month from now, 2 months from now. But you can understand the frustration with people when it's like, okay, well, what's happening? Because in the same way that if you look at it like a movie studio, if a movie studio tells you, hey, guess what? We're going to have all this information that comes out about our new TV show or new film, and it's coming out in January of 2024. And then January 2024 comes and there's no trailer. And then February comes and there's no trailer. And then March comes and there's no trailer. And you're like, they're like, no, we're still making it. We're still making it. There's just a couple of problems on set, you know? And it's like, I know that the movie's still being made. I know the show's being made, I think. But it's like it's these promises that are made. And I think that there should be less promises made. Because especially if you don't know for a fact that you can keep them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But also, I'm gonna try to look at the glass half full here. You gotta understand that before 2017, this subject was almost dead. It was science fiction,
Right.
and within 7 years, imagine you're one of those researchers who's like pushing 80, and suddenly you're looking at everything just like really taking like a different speed. For example, George Knapp, when the hearings of David Grush were happening, all I could see was George Knapp's face. Like he couldn't really believe what was happening because
Right.
he had been like trying to search for this for the last 30, 40 years. And he was finally like seeing some results of his work. So I think that the people that have been on this for decades, they think that it has like accelerated, but us that are more new to this, we have short attention spans. That's one thing, and the other thing is that we're not used to any of this really. So
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a great
yeah,
point. It's a great point. Like it was the fact that it was even considered in this circle as this circle was not as big, where there are newbies like myself who was always interested and always thought, what if, you know, those types of things, but didn't really take it into consideration until that New York Times article and all that. But it's like it does when you start to look into it more, you start to get that frustration that and people, and like you said, there's so many people now like, good luck, kid. I've been playing this long game for years.
yeah,
But it's just that we're in this stretch of we're in a place right now where the idea of disclosure and the idea of people of putting more information out, and the fact that there was a public hearing that they said this time and time again, that you can't take the genie out of the bottle, right? Once it's in, you can't put it back in the bottle, rather. And it's once it's out, then you're looking at this whole topic in a set of new eyes. So I think that I'm just like, and you know what it was, Pavel, also I think what the main thing is that there was so much news and there were so many things and there was so much momentum that even if, and as Luna addresses it, the AARo report, even if you don't think that it was legitimate, it did take momentum. It sucked momentum out of that and the gutting of the Schumer bill. I thought is the two
yeah,
things that I went like it was moving, and then it was just like. So
yeah.
you feel the same?
Yeah, I do, but still, I think I know there are things that are happening within the next month that I know are gonna move the needle even more. For example, two days ago, James Fox posted a tweet saying that the raw cut is finished, and he just has to get with his main editor and just wrap it up. So
But what's the
we're
difference though? But look, I love James Fox and I love his documentaries. But what's the difference between this one and the other ones that he's got that people will say, "Oh well, even though the other ones are really believable, this one, this is proof."
I mean, I look at it as other in the movie business, other directors, they have their seal, like their style, like Wes Anderson. A Wes Anderson movie when you see
Sure.
one, a Tim Burton movie when you see one. I think it's something similar happens with James Fox in UFO documentaries that it's gonna be believable, but the subject matters tend to be different still because he covered the phenomenon covered historical
Sure.
events.
Sure.
Moment of Contact focused on the Brazil event, and this is going to focus on the aerospace companies specifically.
Okay.
And this could really get him in trouble. So
Right.
he's risking a lot, I think. And
When is this supposed to come out?
well, the raw cut is already finished.
Mhm.
He's now like in the final stages of editing, but
Right.
the raw cut is finished.
And
So
and this is the one that they tried to shut it down, right?
yes, And they also tried to take funding from him from the past ones, and he got into a legal battle. It was really bad.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, that all ties into this. Like,
Yeah.
where do we go from here? Is this conversation that Matt Laslo has with Luna? Do these field hearings do they happen soon? Do we get announcements of these things soon? Do we get another hearing in the summer like last year, or does it just kind of, or does somebody get their hands in the pot and then the Speaker of the House finally goes, "Oh no, actually, I can't approve that committee. Oh no, Grush actually can't work here. Oh, those field hearings that we can't do those right now because don't forget we're in an election year." As much as this topic should be the most important topic out of everything, it's not. It's the least for a lot of people, especially during the election year for people. So I think this thing gets pushed back until 2025. The full on, you know,
Disclosure.
But pens to paper. It's like we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it when we can. Right now, we got to concentrate on getting our person into the seat.
I would tend to agree with you, but I also think that people should also look at the other nuggets that come out that are not specifically related to the government's efforts for this.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff happening outside of it, and I just covered something today that it's a really big thing, and I think that people, in order to not get discouraged, it would be a good idea to pay attention to all the other things that are happening, which is a lot.
All right, Pavel, as always, man, thank you. And by the way, so you want to give a plug to your channel real quick of the interview that you got?
Yeah, it's on Psicoactivo Podcast. I uploaded it to my Twitter page, and you can go to Psicoactivo Podcast on YouTube. It's an interview with Professor Simon Holland, who has a YouTube channel, used to work for the BBC, for Discovery Channel. And it's about the topic that I covered on yesterday. We went deep in the conversation. He spoke to me about things that I never heard about before. Science that is really weird and impossible, but there's documentation that proves that it's real. So that really blew my mind.
Well, make sure you guys check that out, Pavel. I have a link to Pavel's channel in the description. So we'll see you soon, man. Thank you as always.
Thank you, Kristian. Have a good one, man.
All right, guys. So as I say each and every video, if you're brand new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're at 16,000 subscribers. Now we're trying to get to 20,000. I think we can do that. If you hit that button, you'll be part of this conversation. You can do that. And we have our weekly podcast, which is an hour-long show, which we do. We have interviews. We cover the topic every week for a longer conversation. So thanks for joining us here today. We'll see you next time.